I hit the accelerator a little harder maybe than I wanted to, and we both went, whoa!
Just don't want to have to park it in the grocery store ever again.
That we thought, and it was just there. I didn't have to use it, but it was there for me.
There are a lot of challenges we have left to overcome here, not the least of which is just the number of chargers that we have, but the ones we do have need to work first.
Right. Well, I had a vehicle of similar size, the F-150 Lightning, of course, the electric vehicle version of the vehicle you were driving, largely. Talk about a cool vehicle. Talk about something really special. I mean, this looks like an F-150, but and in some ways it behaves like an F-150. It has most of the capabilities of an F-150, but then there's things about it that's just kind of otherworldly about it, including its 0 to 60 time, 4 seconds or so, maybe 4.5 seconds, 0 to 60. I mean, getting something that weighs that much going from 0 to 60 in that kind of time is just incredible. And I remember being on the freeway here. I think, coming back from a baseball game I had played in with my middle daughter in the passenger seat, and we were just changing lanes, and I kind of gassed it. I guess you don't call it gas it if you're in electric, though. But I hit the accelerator a little harder maybe than I wanted to, and we both went, whoa! It just kind of, holy smokes, that was more acceleration than we thought. And it was just there. I didn't have to use it, but it was there for me. So that's just one of the things about it. I mean, there's so many capabilities of this vehicle. It is smooth and quiet, as you would expect with electric. It's just incredibly quiet. And all this power that threw us back in our seats and scared us came very, very quietly. Like I say, exceptionally quick. When you use Blue Cruise and go on the highway hands-free, you kind of take that leap of faith, but it acquits itself quite well doing that. The entertainment interface is really excellent. I did things like, I didn't do it on the most recent thing, but when I was driving the vehicle in the launch, drove it with a 5,000-pound horse trailer behind it, so it has those kind of capabilities. Just a lot about this. And then taking it off-road. I mean, certainly the Raptor is more dedicated to off-road, but you would be surprised at how good the Lightning is off-road, and with the amount of torque it has and the amount of torque it can put to each wheel essentially instantaneously. It has a locking rear differential. It has off-road modes. It just does some amazing stuff, and you can ford a 2-foot stream in the thing, among other things. So this is just one heck of a vehicle, and that's before you get to the fact that it's zero emissions and does all the other things that it can do. But reasonable range and over 300 miles in range. This is the first electric vehicle I've driven, I think, where I wasn't concerned every moment about how much electricity I was using and when I would have to charge this and how I would go about charging this. I mean, I used this day to day for a week, doing all the errands I needed to do, and I just felt comfortable with it. And I know, the infrastructure in Maine is a challenge to you. It's somewhat of a different challenge here because, the infrastructure is crowded with people using fast chargers. But, what's your take on being able to use an electric like the Lightning day to day in your situation?
Well, the first thing, I think Ford made the right move, making it into an F-150, right? So it looks like a truck, it smells like a truck, shaped like a truck. And as you mentioned, the off-road capability. But for something like that, I'm actually looking at installing a level 2 charger here in my barn just so that I can charge the loan cars that come up. And I met a woman at the grocery store last week who was stuck at I won't mention which brand name charger, and couldn't get her XC40 recharge to recharge so that she could get home to Boston from Maine. So I think there are a lot of challenges we have left to overcome here, not the least of which is just the number of chargers that we have, but the ones we do have need to work first.
Yeah. One thing I should mention too, it's so easy to talk about the capabilities of this vehicle. I wasn't talking much about the interior, but I think you experienced a very similar kind of interior. But the Lariat and Platinum versions of the Lightning have Sync 4A, which is a really great infotainment interface, and they have this massive 15.5-inch touchscreen. It just kind of dominates the dash. And when you think about it, you probably remember paper maps, right? I certainly do. Paper maps weren't this big, right? They weren't 4x4. They were big, so you could see stuff and you could see where you were in relation to other things. And I think it really helps with navigation to have a touch screen of that scale and that size. It just seems to work out better.
Yeah, and Ford's software works well on the large screen. They've made it so that you can do more than one thing at once. The information is displayed clearly and it's intuitive, and it's pretty colorful, which a lot of them are not, although that's less important than intuitiveness. So I give it an A.
You're right. It also has the frunk up front, so you can use that and store some stuff in the frunk where an engine otherwise would be. You had a turbocharged engine, I think, in your version of the F-150. So just a lot to like about the Lightning on a day-to-day basis. We've talked about it before, but living with it on a day-to-day basis, I just got more respect for it. And I think it's a very cool vehicle. And I think those people who step up to it are going to find it very useful for them for many years to come.
I'm expecting one for testing in a couple of weeks, and I can't wait.